and look at it through Steven's lens and how dramatic it can be. So that was exciting.
I found Zoe to be a very complex character, and I really like that even though she's a psychologist, it's not like she has everything figured out. And she also portrays a very real idea of how exhausting it can be to try to meet certain standards for women. So, Naomi, how did you feel playing a role like this?
I mean, I absolutely loved it. And I love that you said that she hasn't got everything worked out, because I actually did a deep dive with a clinical psychologist to help find who Zoe was and, you know, the world of psychology and so on. And one of the things she said is that generally you're attracted to the world of being a therapist because you have your own unhealed trauma. And through helping other people, that's how you're healing yourself. So I think a lot of therapists are quite unresolved as people. But that's not to say that it makes them any worse as therapists. I think Zoe is deeply unresolved as a person, but I think she is a phenomenal therapist. I love the fact that she's so unorthodox, the fact that she's so intelligent, that she understands the rules of the game and rules of engagement, but she throws it all out and she makes her own rule book. She she focuses on what works, what's effective with her clients.
And Reggie, you play characters that are often very mysterious and have a big darkness in them. So what makes this one different to you? What was the biggest challenge in playing Steven?
I think was finding where his vulnerabilities are. I think he is so incredibly competent and on it and job driven that finding where he allows himself to be vulnerable, where he allows himself to want anything other than to be so good at his job, and finding the interplay between how he represses that versus when that creeps out and how it creeps out. I found that most interesting. It's mostly around you, to be honest. It's mostly around Zoe.
Yeah. She has that effect on people.
She has that effect on She makes them talk. And so I think playing in that element of someone who works so hard to dehumanize themselves and where that humanity can't help but express itself. That dichotomy is what draws me to Jim Stokes most, I think.
I'd like to know what was the funniest or the scariest or the most exciting part filming Black Bag?
Most exciting for me was getting to film on location in London. I found that incredible. Yeah. My first day on set was on the South Bank, right outside the National Theatre.
Right.
Which was really fun. Because I remember we had just big enough a crew that people respected us and kind of stood off, but just small enough that they didn't kind of freak out. And so what you had was like just folks like really politely just kind of sitting going, I get to watch a movie. They didn't interrupt, they didn't get in the way, there was nothing. But you had kind of Fassbender sitting there being spyish in front of the National Theatre. It was just a great day out. Like it's a great way to experience the city and look at it through Steven's lens and how dramatic it can be. So that was exciting.
Yeah. I think for me, it was exciting, shocking, was it? Was it shocking?
Exciting, scary. What was the third one?
Funniest.
Funniest. I think the dinner scenes were quite funny in the sense that we had Tom Burke, who loves to tell these amazing thespian stories.
Yeah,
and
he's good at that.
He did have us laughing quite a lot. So
I think
that was quite funny.
mirth
Yeah,
to the
he
table.
did. He did. You'd want him as a dinner guest at any dinner party, I think.